Now, my apologies for the jump scare right out the gate. We got a nice little video for you. And the reason I'm doing this is because, one, transparency, I'm all about that, but also think it's a good way to update you guys. I did this a lot during the last stream where we use what some people may say, no matter how angry it is that they actually are, we use that to then give you guys some insight as far as to what our numbers are. Now, this baldhead wench had some interesting things to say. And because ISOM2 is seeing the level of success that it's seeing, you're going to have people grasping for straws. They would have loved for it to fail utterly. And because they can't say that, what they're attempting to do is find some level of failure and reach for it. So this is what this person said. ISOM2 is underperforming compared to ISOM number 1. All your chatter about how it's going at the same pace aside, it isn't. Half as many buyers, and you're nearly 1.5 million behind compared to the same point ISOM 1's pre-order. Being transparent has disadvantages. Okay, so I know I showed y'all really bald head woman. Let's go to me real quick while I take a look at this. By the way, she's completely incorrect. It isn't almost $1.5 million behind unless she's, I'm guessing, meaning the entire $3.7 million, which we have almost 2 million to go before we actually get to that. So I'm guessing that she wasn't referring to that. That's not true. Up until this point, we were at, I'm looking at the numbers now, 2.7 million, which is about a million, not 1.5, not 1.5 million. That's a big leap. But let's talk about this just really quick. And I did mention all of this. Look, I said before this campaign launched, I said that I cannot expect a $3.7 million campaign every single time. That's unrealistic. It's not just because of, there's so much that goes into it. The book itself, there's a lot that goes into it, but the campaign setup is going to fluctuate in terms of what the items are, what's available, how much they cost, which is going to change what the actual sales number is. Now, it's only 2 months. We have 2 months left in this campaign. It's only been a few weeks. We have 2 months left to get however many purchases that we're gonna get. Okay, we're at 14,000 now. There's a lot that goes into it, and I mentioned some of this right here. Says we had raw unsigned copies last campaign, a concept art book, the cards ran the entire campaign as well. And I also mentioned that there was a be canonized tier, which is $5,000 a pop. So that in itself would significantly change the numbers. But the main thing, and as I mentioned right here, where we made 700 grand on raw unsigned copies, those are not available. I said I can't sign that many copies again. So for relatively cheap, it's only $15 more than a regular copy. You got the signed copy of ISOM. Those are not a thing anymore. To put this into perspective, we sold up until this point 13,200, almost 13,300 signed copies that we're losing out on right now because we don't have them available. And the point that I brought up is that, yes, we have replaced them with the signature series, but there's not that many available. We're almost sold out of those. And we're not going to make anything close to 700 grand, which is how much we made on the signed copies last time. It's an availability thing. It's just math. The other thing I brought up says we released a mass print cover last time within the first couple of days. Those are the two biggest things. The mass print cover was available. So you had another cover that was available that was the same price as the others. And the raw copies, those are going to impact the numbers the most. So with the other, the mass print, we don't have it out yet. We're going to get a significant boost once that drops, but we don't have that out yet. That's not a thing. But it came out like the first couple of days it came out last time during ISOM number 1. There are less new items available. This is true. We had the cards, which are technically only a 24-hour period. The cards ran the entire time last time, and of course there was a concept art book. There was also an additional poster, right? We have less items available to them to you guys as customers than what we had last time. That's going to significantly impact the numbers. Rarely is a number 2 going to sell more units, I say. That's true. Anybody that understands comics understands that. We're not supposed to be doing this well with a number 2. Rarely is the number 2 going to outsell the number 1. However, as I mentioned here, we are closing in on 25,000 books without a mass print being even released. So we're over a third of the books that we sold last time, 3 weeks into the campaign with 2 months to go. It's going to be interesting to see where this thing lands. And that's well over a third of the books sold last time, and we have 2 months left. So we got that. We got the mass print. We got some other items that are going to be dropped in the campaign store, which will make it a little more comparable in terms of items sold. And then we have the short box. These are all things that aren't even available yet. And as I mentioned, campaigns do not have the same stakes, same items, nor the cost. This is just basic math, which also will impact the sales figure. You can't compare campaign to campaign unless they were selling the exact same items at the same exact price. It's just not what we're doing here. We only have one poster, for example, that's available right now. It's less items. The certain items cost more than what they did last time, like the signature series, but there's less available. And it's just basic math. Now, I will say this, and this is some insight for you guys as customers that I know will care about this. Let me get off the butt-faced woman. The cool thing about this campaign and what we are surprised at is there's 2 things, actually. 1, how many books we've already sold. But 2 is kind of, you know, you get the initial boost, right? There's going to be initial hype. You're going to get it. It's going to be live front-ended. However, but what we're holding a lot better than what we had before. And that is interesting because it's more consistent as opposed to, you know, you hit a big number and then you kind of level out. Now it's in terms of books sold and units pushed, we're far more consistent going over the longer period of time. So look, I'm not saying we're going to make $3.7 million. I have no idea how much we're going to make. But the hilarious thing is that, think about this, guys. These weirdos are somehow trying to spin us having another $1 million campaign as a loss. I tell you what, I'm going to end on this note. I will bet you as much money as you want that every single person in comic books would like to fail to $1 million. Every single one of them. If they could produce a $1 million campaign, they do it. And that'd be considered a failure. They do that any day of the week. It's going to be interesting to see where this lands, though. Thank you all for the support. We're at 1.6 million, and I appreciate y'all so much. The winning makes these guys so mad. If you like this video and want to get into a new comic book universe, visit Rippaverse.com. Our first campaign for ISOM 1 hit $3.7 million, and the pre-order campaign for ISOM 2 is currently live. So go check it out and watch the official launch trailer, which is the first animation of Rippaverse Studios.